welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Alejandra, also known as AZALEXGLAM. On my social medias, I'll make sure to leave them down below for you guys so you guys can check me out on there. And in today's video, I teach you guys how it is that I cream, highlight, and contour, set that all in with powders, and also I'll be teaching you guys how to bake for my beginners out there. Even though I do use a lot of products, I try to make it look like skin, not heavy or cakey at all. So if you want to learn some tips and tricks on how it is that I highlight and contour using cream and powder products, then just keep on watching. For today's base, I use the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. I know it's bougie AF, but I promise you it is worth every single penny. You can go ahead and use whatever foundation you are comfortable with, whether that's matte or dewy, full coverage, or more on the natural side. I went ahead and applied 2 layers of my Giorgio Armani foundation to give that nice and even base. For concealer, I use this for concealing and highlighting as well. I use the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Custard. You want to go 2 to 4 shades lighter than your foundation color. It depends if you want a more full glam look, like smoky eyes. I suggest going lighter just because the eyes are so dark and heavy. But if you're going for a more natural look, I think 2 shades would be perfect. I applied the concealer in the areas where I wanted a highlight, which was underneath the eyes. I did it in kind of like a triangle shape down the bridge of my nose, on my chin, on my forehead, and underneath my cheekbones to further define that contour. As you see here, I did a lot of highlighting on my forehead because I feel like I have a pretty average forehead, not too big. If you want to make your forehead look a little bit smaller, you want to try to avoid highlighting too much because it'll bring more light to that area. And then using my Smashbox contour stick, I love this stick. It blends out super easy. I contoured on my cheekbone, on the forehead. Like I said, I have a pretty small forehead, so I don't do a lot of contouring there. If you have a bigger forehead, you feel free to shade all that area up in there. And then also under my jawline, that makes your jawline appear much more defined. And on the sides of my nose, make sure to follow that highlight that you did earlier, and that'll give you the perfect nose snatch. And if you don't work as fast as I do when I'm not filming, then you can go ahead and apply the concealer, blend it out, and then the contour, just so that the products won't dry on you. But these products are pretty creamy, so you don't have to worry about that. I love the Beauty Blender, especially under the eyes, because it picks up any excess product so your under eyes won't look super cakey. And then to blend out my contour, I used my Sigma Angled Kabuki F84. Just so you guys know, I do have a discount code with Sigma Beauty. They have makeup and brushes, so feel free to use that coupon code. It's AZALEXGLAM. I'll put it right here for you guys. When you're blending out your contour, you don't have to worry about it blending it out super well, because we're gonna go in and do extra blending, as you will see in a little bit. But yeah, that's what I'm doing, blending it all out with the brush. And then once I get to the nose part, I pinch my brush like so that the contour won't spread out all over the place. And I switched to my Beauty Blender because it has some product from that concealer. So if you ever feel like the contour on your nose is too harsh, grab your beauty sponge, because it has that that product from before, and use it to blend it all out. I use the smaller tip to blend out my nose, and then the bigger one to further blend out the contour around my face. And this is what you get. I also wanted to explain to you guys why I do bake my face, because a lot of people don't know, and honestly it has been a lifesaver for me. Especially, listen to me guys and girls, especially if you're an oily person. I've seen people like Patrick Star bake their whole faces, and even though it looks like a whole bunch of powder, Max Fix Plus or any type of dewy spray will save your life, and your body temperature does not come through with all that translucent powder laying on top, so it literally cooks your makeup and makes it bulletproof. Then to set the rest of my face, I use the MAC Studio Fix powder and NC30. I like to apply face powder because it helps with blending. If you have a wet foundation and then apply a really dark bronzing powder, it'll just stick to those places and not help you blend easily. So make sure you use a powder foundation or a translucent powder to set that all in. To bronze up my face, I use the Sigma F40 large angled contour brush with the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil medium deep matte bronzer. And then to contour, a lot of people ask me what's the difference between bronze and contour. Bronzing is just giving a little bit of color to your face, and contouring for me is really chiseling out the structure of your face, making it sharp and defined. So for that, I use the Marc Jacobs Mirage filter in 40. I applied that with a smaller contour brush from Sigma as well, the F05, just on the very hollows of my cheeks and on my nose. To clean up the contour, I use some more of that Mercier powder underneath the cheekbones and chisel those bad boys out. I went ahead and dusted off the powder from under the eyes because you don't want to let it sit too long under the eyes. They can get dry and crusty if you do. But to further set them so your concealer won't crease and it'll last throughout the whole day, I went ahead and used the Marc Jacobs Mirage filter like we had previously done before, but the yellow tone shade. As you can see here, there is a big difference in this step, which is why I love to do it. For blush, I use the Milani Baked Blush in Luminoso, one of my ride or die products from the drugstore. If you guys want to see products that I recommend from the drugstore, let me know. You want to blend that blush into the contour, starting from the apples of the cheekbones, working your way into that contour, because you don't want to just focus it on the apples or else it'll make your cheeks look really, really round. I dusted off the bakage from underneath the cheekbones and used that same brush to blend out my contour and my blush because blending is key. I'm gonna say this in almost every single video. And then I used my MAC Fix Plus to spray down the face just to make it more natural looking and not so cakey and powdery, and also so that my highlight can really pop. I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills and Amrezy highlight. This stuff is bomb, you guys, bomb.com. Applied that on my cheekbones, on the tip of my nose, on the bridge of my nose, on my cupid's bow, to make my mouth look extra pouty, underneath my brow bone, just at that very tip, because if you highlight your whole brow under your brow, it'll make your brows look like they're sagging instead of lifted, which was the whole point of highlighting your brow bone. And then the corner of my eyes, just to bring a little bit extra light. If you feel like your highlight is too intense, you can go ahead and use the middle part of the beauty blender, which I show right here, and further blend that out. Alright babes, so this is the completed look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down below if you actually enjoy cream highlight and contour, or if it's not for you. I totally understand, but I personally like how flawless my skin looks, super blended, and it does not look cakey like I said. So if you want to see more videos from me like this, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and leave any comments down below on what kind of videos you would like to see next. Make sure to turn on your post notifications so you do not miss a video from moi, and I will see you guys in my next one.